What's up, guys? West Coast Picks here, and today I'm going to pick on this Paclock 900. This is a 700 American clone, or people would call it a clone. It's really so many companies use this design, this body style and design, that I wouldn't call it a clone because they changed up. The core tension in this one, when I turn the key to open it, is probably, I'm not kidding you, probably twice what this American is. And if you pick these American locks, you know that spring pressure makes all the world of difference. This one opens like half the pressure involved to turn this key. That makes a lot harder to pick. At first glance, they look pretty much the exact same, except for the brush finish is a little bit deeper on the Paclock, which I prefer, and the Paclock has this nice beveled edge instead of this half-rolled sharp edge on the American. I happen to prefer the beveled edge myself. The only other notable thing is I prefer the American for the branding over the Paclock that doesn't have any branding on it, but that's just me. I'm a collector as well as a picker, so I like my locks to have branding on them, but that, keep in mind, that has zero to do with the security of this lock. That's just my personal preference of aesthetics. So the actual security of this lock, I'm betting, is going to be just on the spring tension alone is going to be better than the American. It pretty much has to be. Anytime you up the spring pressure on these locks, you up the difficulty. So let's try to get at it here. Let's see if I can do it. I'm not sure what tools to use, so I'll start with a gem, and if it doesn't work, I'll move on to something else. Alright, so I don't think that's fitting in there very well. Let's try something a little thinner. The problem with the increased spring pressure on the core means you usually need a lot beefier picks to pick the lock. These wimpy little 20,000s usually aren't enough. They'll just bend. Compared to a 25,000, which is enough, but alright, so that was a fail. Let's try again. Let's try something thicker. Feels like a spool on one, and it's open here. Alright, so just the spring pressure alone made it quite a bit harder than an average American. The pins themselves, I think, I felt a couple spools in there, which is a change up from the last Paclock I picked. But let's see. Allen. Now I'm playing the game. I hope they use standard size Allens. That's one of my pet peeves about Master, is they don't use standard size Allens. Alright. Yeah, and I think I might be having the same issue here. Yeah, they're using the same thing as Master Lock, which is an odd size Allen, at least odd size to me. I have a bunch of different Allen sets and I can never find the one, so got some good blue Loctite there. Oh, guys, I do not see an anti-bypass here. I'm going to try running a bypass down there after, but that's, I don't know, maybe it might not be bypassable for whatever reason, but usually you'd like to see an anti-bypass in there. And this is also a crimped core, where, you know, most Americans have the clip on the core. Again, for security reasons, I don't think that makes any difference, but for my personal preference, I prefer having the clip. What's going on here? Paclock. That is, I think the crimp is a little too much, and you can't get this core out without bending that crimp back a little bit, looks like. Yeah. So that's a bummer. Make it really hard to actually get into this thing. I mean, I'm trying to be honest with the review here, guys, so I prefer having a core I can service. Yeah, when you got a core that you can't even remove, that's I think that's a problem. Let me turn it all the way around just to make sure I'm not doing something wrong here. Yeah, no, not possible. So, yeah, this might be a little bit longer of a review than normal, guys. I am going to find a screwdriver and pry that sucker open, because you've got to be able to get into these things. Otherwise, it's not really a rekeyable lock. You should be able to rekey the drivers as well as the key pins. Otherwise, it's not really rekeyable. Alright. Jeez, still, eh? It's unfortunate because you can't get a clip on this thing either, so once I've done this, this core is pretty much garbage. It's a good thing I didn't pay for this lock. I mean, these are the things that make it for us. Jeez, come on. For us collectors and lock pickers, you know, as far as the security of the lock, it's not going to do anything. And I mean, most people just buy their lock and use it. They don't rekey it or anything special like that. But we do those things. So there we go. hoping what's left of that I can fold back over and reuse, but oops, I'm not counting on it. So it looks like all standard pins. Yeah, that's not good. And I have to think that Paclock chose, you know, good locks to send me too. This isn't an anomaly. This is probably the standard. So far we pretty much have a master core with no security pins in the driver. I know there's some spools up top, but you know, a couple pennies more and you can have some serrations. They were saying that for the price point, and to be fair, I didn't pay for these, that they are some of the best cores on the market, but you know, unless they are a lot cheaper than an American, I'd say an American is a lot better than this. So we got a kind of a half-hearted spool. We have some serrations, pretty good looking serrated pins. Pretty good spool. That's weird. The first pin is like a, not really a spool. It's like a half spool or something. And then the third pin is an actual spool. These serrateds look pretty good though. I'm pretty happy with those. And the spools that are there are pretty nice. It'd be nice if they were serrated spools like an American's, but not always. So that's what we had in this 6-pin Paclock with a crimped core that I might not be able to reuse. The good thing is it's a standard American type core, so I can replace it with a better one. And the lock is still okay. But that's what was in there, guys. If you notice, pin number 1 is not really a spool. It's kind of a half spool thing. Not sure what's up with that. Let's see if we can get it to focus. There you go. Compare it to 3 and 5, which are regular spools. Those serrateds look really nice. And we have a standard in the 6. No security pins in the drivers, or in the key pins, sorry. So that's a little disappointing. And what also is a little disappointing is this crimped core. I would do away with these crimped cores if I was Paclock. Let's dump these springs out here. Yeah, I would look into getting like a standard American type cores, because people are going to need to get in here and change out drivers and stuff like that every now and then. And it looks like I had to use a screwdriver and break pieces of this core away, because it's brittle. Once you've bent the core over, it's really brittle, and when you bend it back, it just snaps and pieces go flying off. So I might be able to get this back together and crimp it back down, but probably only one more time. Yeah, so a lot better than the last Paclock I picked, but still I don't think it's up to American standards. I think it's probably around master standards. You know, a master would have a crimped core, a master would have a couple of spool pins in it, master wouldn't have serrated. So it's basically add a couple of serrated pins to a master lock, and that's what you have here. Not the best, especially, I'm not sure the price point, but if it's anywhere near the price of an American, not the best on the market for the price point either. So that is my honest review, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a good one.